Good to see you all. Thank you for having me. So yeah, my background has always been split between being an artist and being an entrepreneur. So I've started first as a dancer, then I produced dance events, one, a couple, a dozen, and then many more. Produced a festival, micro festival here in Paris, France. Then a music label that became a 360 degrees indie music label. Then a music tech startup, plus an agency. And then I had this little group of three companies, the events, music, and the tech, plus agency. And I, as you said, Tim, created the companies, created the team, trained them, try to, make them be better, the better version of themselves. And then I've, had difficult time, let's say, and a breakdown, and I decided to sell the companies and start a fresh new business adventure as an advisor and creating a new ecosystem. So I'm back on entrepreneurship, but building different things and not being a full-time CEO on all my new businesses. And now I'm working again and building a new type of team. So that's what I do basically, and always in the creative industries. That's what I've done for the past 15 years. Audiovisual, music, art, food, and anything that is creative, I will be in it.
So let's start with talking about how to source these freelance teams and creating nimble teams. Creating a nimble team, we were talking about uh, the benefits of having a lot of flexibility when you're starting a business versus being strapped down to the W-2 universe. And a lot of business owners sometimes don't know how to build a team with freelancers and contractors, and they think it's going to be expensive and it's going to cost a lot of money to get my business going because I have to hire full-time employees. What's your philosophy around building a nimble team, at least in the very beginning?
I think that's definitely a do for sure, because you're saving costs, and it's not a problem for persons at the beginning of a project. They want to try as well. Like if your business is new, they don't have the guarantee of safety they would have with a huge company, right? So it's okay if you go like, let's do just services and freelancing, and to back that with contracts and agreements. So like it's not gonna be like that. You have the trust and you formalize that trust in a paper and an official agreement for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. So you fix different time periods, so everyone is okay with that. And then with possibility to stop with 1 month, 2 weeks in front of you, so each parties can turn themselves to other solutions if it happens, right? So no one is blocked. The people working with you, they can get more of your money actually, because you save all the different taxes. And especially in Europe and in France, we have much more, many more taxes than you have to hire people. So let's say you save half of your money pot. So that's a lot. Instead of hiring one person, you could hire two-person and then create more value to finally make the hiring, the hiring, the whole process and everything. But yeah, definitely, I think it's something that should be done. I've done that a lot, and you have as well, like um, sometimes systems to have helped employment for the youth especially, and then you can like help them to have more skills and be like you want. And so this could be cool for the operational tasks, and then you save your pot for very senior level persons for more strategic topics. Then you can have someone backing you or advising or building something else. So I would go more like that, to build something. And the first part of the question was like, how do you do to find them? Um, it's quite a thing. It depends of your network, but most of the time I think it's great to have um, to spread the word to your persons in your network, because this is the way to me to get the best persons. Otherwise, you have the different platforms we all know, like Fiverr and so on. But and you have specialized in niche marketplace like Fiverr, but specialized, let's say, in sales, specialized in steak, specialized in food, specialized in whatever, you get it. But you have the platforms, but your network is a great thing, and going to B2B events, chatting with people so you get along first, and then okay, oh, you're looking for new opportunities. Oh, let's talk. Please send your resume. Let's have lunch and do the things properly. So I would go with that, network or platforms.
So there's landmines when hiring freelancers. There are natural things that can blow up. Um, Sometimes you can get treated maybe second class, depending on how much you're paying to other people that they have in the fold. How do you deal with freelancers when, let's say, they're not working out, but they are in the middle of a project? Because I believe this is like one of those very tricky things, because with an employee, you're the boss and you're controlling them full time or maybe part time, but you're definitely the one telling them what to do. And they're solely responsible to you for the work. But when you have freelancers, they could have 10 other projects, and getting priority on their project list is tough. So that's kind of the first challenge. And then the second challenge is they're not all great, right? It takes a minute to find your good contractor. So how do you navigate that?
So I would to get the best contractors, then I do always a trial first of all, and I list and I identify a list of red flags. And if during the first meetings, the first talks, I see any of these red flags, like one is okay, but a couple over 5 or 10, no matter the numbers, it's a no-go then. Just, okay, thank you. I can wait a little bit and go for another one. I haven't done that in the past, and that has cost me a lot of money, a lot of energy, a lot of emotional and mental charge. So I'm not doing it again. But we learned from our mistakes, right? So yeah, definitely list your red flags. Okay, he thinks like that, she does that. It's not okay for me. That's the first thing. And most of the time I try to unqualify them. So it's more like, it's not okay for us to collaborate if this, it's gonna be like this, and I try to give as many bad points as I can. So if at the end the person is still there, it's like, okay, I know where I'm going, I know how it's gonna be, I know that I can handle it. So it could be like, I'm tough, you're gonna work, I'm gonna call you, I don't want to be a last of your customers, I know I don't pay you what you deserve, but if you're jumping in the project, is, the conditions, I'm not forcing you. So if you come, you engage yourself, you engage with me, it's a commitment, and I have bills, I have strategies, I have plans. So if you're not sure, it's more than okay, we can collaborate in the future and stay good friends. But if you jump right now and you're not giving 100% of yourself, then it's gonna be a problem. Then okay, so the person, when you hear that, most of the time, either you're saying, nah, it's not for me, too much pressure, not okay. And if you go knowing everything. So
Sure.
that's the
So
first.
setting very clear expectations.
Fair clear expectation. You say everything at the beginning, and you fix your limits, and you explain how it's gonna be. You're okay, let's go, it's gonna be fun. Um, so this is the way I do. And first, I don't do the agreements at the beginning. I do a little trial, just the first invoice, let's say, and then the agreement the next month, or the one after that. So it's not really engaging. So I have a free, let's say, one mission of trial, 1 month, 1 week, whatever, and so I can adapt and even compare to other persons. And first, as well, like I haven't told that, but I do like I do comparison. I do different meetings. Like if I was hiring a regular team member, so okay, for one post of sales of a salesperson, I would review and interview 3 different persons, and then depending on the red flags or not, the exchange, the quality, the vibe, the energy, the skills, hard skills and soft skills, then I would do my choice. And
Yeah.
the second question, how do you make them stay, or how do you um, make them not treat you like one of the different customers. It's the engagement, and I engaged the people working with me thanks to the values, the mission, and to what you add. So with me, for example, I know I don't pay you that much, but I'm gonna give you trainings. I'm gonna give you a network. I'm gonna put you in front of everything. I'm gonna teach you everything that I know. Okay, so it's invest on yourself. It's gonna be at the end probably way more valuable just than the 500 missing on your bill.
Yeah.
How much do you evaluate your skills or the fact that you're progressing in your professional journey, sorry, and your final goal? And then if you have everything like the skills, the values, and the missions, and a good vibe still, then it should be okay. And you could have both, like it's a mix between having a very horizontal management and vertical management. So, if you treat people with respect and you give them a frame, it's all cool.
Yeah, that's great. I'm with you when you're saying about it's just setting those expectations and really putting in the culture. That was the other piece I wanted to talk about, and you touched upon it. When you work with freelancers and contractors, I still believe it's important to build a strong culture, right? Your values, your mission, your vision, where you're headed. They don't have to be W-2 employees to really know who you are and what you're helping build. And a lot of times I see when companies hire freelancers, because I have also been a contractor over my years, and you just get a project or an assignment and you're not tied into the company at all. You don't believe what they believe. You're just like doing a job. And the second you fall into that territory of doing a job, you're like, let me get in and get out quickly. And the work really may or may not be as good as it could be if you were a believer, if you
Yeah,
were,
yeah.
right? So how do you, I guess, further instill the beliefs, the values, the mission, what you're building when you hire contractors? And if you are getting hired as a contractor yourself, what do you do to ensure that you're plugged in and tied into the mission and vision and values of the client?
Well, even a good question, first of all. Very good question, because it's a very important topic. First of all, I include them in all the strategic topics, not all of them, but as much as I can, so they know. I took the example of the sale, all right? If you're just like fixing goals, like close 10 deals a month, okay? But so close 10 deals a month so we can get this amount of turnover, because with this amount of turnover, we're going to be able to hire that type of person. We're going to be able to do this, to do that. Then they know why they're doing the job. So starting from the operations, then you can build up on top and let them know the information and even ask for their insights. So what do you think would be the best way to get there? Like, you just asking their opinions. At the end, they're other person, they're working with you. And I don't like the term working for you, no matter if it's a WW. I don't get the American,
Yeah.
yeah, but you get it, a regular employee or a freelancer. They're working with you, period. They're humans. So just what do you think, right? And then it helps a lot because they feel respect and respected, and it's cool, and it helps a lot. That's the first thing. And there are other things that I try to do, both chill work time. So let's have lunch, okay, and we could talk about everything. Let's have a drink. We could talk about everything plus business. Let's do activities together. What do you think to go to a concert? What do you think to do all the type of things? And I remember when I had one of the moment that my team was getting bigger every day at the office. I had my first interns that became freelancers. They finally was able to manage interns of the company. So we had a very young team, very remote kinda. And when we were all together at the office. I wanted to make them feel comfortable, to trust each other, to be, okay with what was going on. So one day I told them, okay, we're gonna work on the strategies in the morning, and then we're gonna have lunch, and in the afternoon it's a surprise. And then we just, had fun. We did like kind of like a picnic. We were having lunch under the sunlight and everything, and we did rap freestyles because I had an agency specialized in the European cultures, and they were rapping, but they had to rap on what they wanted to do, linked to the business, linked to their missions. So I had the sale rapping over the sale. I had the marketing guy rapping over the marketing. We had the label and the publishing. I had the girl about the publishing. She was rapping about lyrics, and we had a lot of fun with that. And they were scared, they were ashamed, they were but it forces each other to listen and respect and encourage each other. So we at that moment we became a team. I'm not going to judge you. You're not going to judge me. I'm going to support you. Come on, let's go. Yeah. Oh, that's a cool one. And we had that type of feeling. And, they were freelancers, but for sure, they were feeling 100% as team members.
Yeah,
And I would always remember that time we had fun.
that's really cool. So it sounds like it starts with you caring about them. That's where it sounds like it starts. Like you can't manufacture, I don't think you can manufacture a great culture. You can't just make it in the lab. It has to start with the founder caring about the people. So the pure fact that you are open to take them to lunch, to have a coffee, get a drink, to go to a concert, to do these experiments together, it sounds like you set the tone for the culture, whether they were a freelancer or an employee. Would you agree with that?
100%. And finally, like it's not changing the relationship between the two humans, as I said. It's not changing the missions, and it's not changing the responsibilities. It's just the frame that is different. And you could have a long-term contract as an employee, a short-term contract as an employee. You could be an intern, you could be a student slash worker, you could be a freelancer, you could be an associate, you could be a partner. Okay, at the end, we don't care. That's just the form and the information on the paper.
Yeah.
They're just papers, right? And what really matters, it's the relationship between the persons. Are they going, that basically, that's a company. People working together to reach the same goal, period. And then the timing, the amount of money, no, no, it's just details. So of course, like you have to focus on that.
Yeah. And when you started doing that with the interns and built up your first company to about 15, 20 employees and got to the point to where interns were overseeing other interns. I know it becomes a little more, you have to put a little more work to make sure that the culture is still there when you're a person or two people removed, right?
Yeah,
And that's why I think it's so important to instill the culture and the vision and the values in the people below you so they can instill it to the people below them and down, right? I mean, you become, let's say, Sam Walton of Walmart, and you have thousands and thousands of employees, or, Tesla. I think people go to work at Tesla because they believe in the vision. They believe that they're going to change the future of solar and SpaceX. And you look at these things, people are fully bought in. Apple, and that's not because their boss is having a one-to-one conversation. It's because it started really, really early, and that conversation kind of made its way all the way down throughout the generations of employees and workers there. Um, what are some exercises or things that you recommend to early stage companies? So if people are just getting it going, maybe they're a year or two into their business, maybe they have an employee or a partner or two. And this is where I think the impetus of our conversation was about building these agile, nimble teams and growing your business without having employees per se.
yeah.
Like, what is your methodology or your exercises, approaches, thoughts? Like, what would you recommend to people at that stage?
Again, it's a lot of from my own experience. It's a lot from my mistakes and what I saw, what I've seen, and what I in different companies that I advise for. and what I'm doing recently. It's first of all, create process. If you have no process, it's going to be very complicated. Okay, so create process and playbook everything. So for example, if the freelancer moves and you're changing the team member, then you have another one and it's written down, and they don't leave with all the assets, because these processes, skills, different materials for work are assets of your companies, and you have to write them down first and put in the contracts that they are your own intellectual property, so you can keep them, right? So sales thing, again, you should do a sales script, and the sales script is written down. So you have the sales guy, even if it's a freelancer or a woman, sorry for that, you have a salesperson, and then he or she could hire someone else, an intern, another freelance, or have partners or whatever, and so they can refer to the script, and it's written down. So the process is very clear. Let's do this, and in the script, it's gonna be as well the I don't know the English word for that, the vitrine, the window, sorry, of the values of your company, right? So when you present your company, blah, 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 I'm Garry of the company, blah, 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 we do blah, 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 the mission is blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you present the values, the unique value proposition of your company, right? And the other values as well, and the missions and the vision inside that script. So it's written down, and everybody's aligned with that. So you make sure that, as you said, like if you onboard other persons, they have something to refer to, and they don't have to come to you again, and you don't have to restart, because you're losing time. The information could be different from a person to another, a period with another. That's there. It's written down. It's almost like a Bible, and then you refer to it. And for each different vertical or services, sales, marketing, HR, finance, and so on and so on. So I would recommend that. And I would recommend to have one-on-one moment still, especially at the beginning. Okay, so one-on-one moments, like at least every quarter, you have a one-on-one moment. It could be like just 20 minutes, just a coffee with that person. Okay, hey, how you doing? Oh, you please tell me that, please. No. Okay, blah, blah. And you can drive. It's the minimum, but I would highly recommend to do like more like once a month, if possible. And that's very important. Of course, the annual point to, discuss at probably when you approach the term of the contract, right? Your contract is going to be ending soon. What would you like to do next? Do you want to stay? Do you want to do different stuff in the companies? Do you want to be hired? Do you like better to be like that as a freelancer? Because I could hire you, but you're not going to have more money. If I don't hire you, I can give you more money. So what do you prefer? And then, okay, you discuss with that, and so the annual point, meeting management point, is very important with each person, and to give the good feedback and the bad feedback, so they can improve as well. And you have that trust again. Oh, I didn't really like that. You remember that project? You did bad on that. That has cost you a lot of money. We discussed it already, but here we're doing like a checkpoint. So it was part of last year. So now we can fix that with different solutions. What are your ideas? So it never going to happen again. Blah, 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 blah. So the annual management checkpoint is the thing. And then to have as well, like every quarter, a strategy meeting with as many people as possible. And I do that with the OKR system, which is pretty cool. Like, to drive your company, sorry, mixing the strategies and their operations. So you fix objective and key results, and then, okay, for the quarter, and then at the end of each month, or that would be the great thing to do, but at least at the end of each quarter, okay, we all sit around the table, and you, what are your feedbacks? What are your KPI? Okay, you didn't reach the goal. It's more than okay, but why? Explain. and then the person explains, oh, no, 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 remember, and you know, they have interactions between each other, and it's pretty cool. And you were speaking of SpaceX. I was listening to another podcast of Jeff Bezos from Blue Origin and Amazon, and he told something very interesting that I love. I don't remember the name of the podcast though, but sorry for that. But he said like in meetings, he tries to be the last one to speak
Mm.
and to let all of the persons around the table to speak first, especially the juniors. And so if you do so, you know, that's also a thing. Like even if you just arrived in the company last week, 2 weeks ago, still you have your word. And because at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, whatever, like we talk all together about strategies. It's not, of course, all point of view counts. They don't have the same weight because at the end you have managers, you have directors, you have C-level persons, or and the CEO. But still, you know, and I've done that, and it was okay, and I would recommend that. So just spend time with the persons, listen, include them, and you know, don't be stuck in your operations or don't be stuck in your strategy, and then do the work. As you said, like if you start that, that's the end of everything.
Yeah.
You're gonna have doers, you're not gonna have team members.
Yes, that's a good point. You're gonna have doers, not team members, and you want team. And that team doesn't need to be full-time, or it could
Ah,
be anything, just be on part of the team.
yeah.
Man, you dropped some good points here. The OKRs, objectives, and key results, doing that on a quarterly basis, so important. And you can do that with freelancers, absolutely. Having a playbook, having everything written down, standard operating procedures, critical. How to do step 1, 2, and 3 the whole way through. Even putting on your job descriptions, your unique selling proposition, your values, your vision for the company, so it's there at day one.
Yeah.
Scripting everything out so people know exactly what to say, so you don't have to recreate the will. Putting in the contract that this is your intellectual property, that they're there creating it with you, but at the end of the day, it's yours. So you don't have to recreate the will. And then finding unique moments to do it one-to-one with your team to really invest into them and to pour into them, whether that's quarterly or monthly. I think all of that right there is a good foundation to build a strong team. I guess the last thing I want to ask you before we open this up for some Q&A is I see a lot of people going into solopreneurship as if they don't need a team. And maybe they're right. Maybe they don't need a team if they want to get to a certain level, but I don't believe they're ever going to break past a certain threshold on their own. And I hear some people say, why do I need a team? Or it's too expensive, or it's too complicated, or everyone sucks and no one's going to listen to what I do, right? There's a lot of kind of like downtrodden language out there today. And the solopreneur is kind of, you know, people are shining a light on the solopreneur, and that's okay to be the solo person. But I believe we need teams. I believe we absolutely have to build these businesses with people. I think it's an imperative. I think doing the one-man show is only going to get you so far. So my question to you is, why do we need teams?
Okay, like that. First, I think you're right for sure. Like you need a team. It's imperative. It's for everything. There are so many good reasons. And I was myself transitioning from being CEO with a team to a solopreneur for 12 months, let's say, you know, it's 18 months. And then I was like, okay, I'm feeling a little lonely. I miss my team. I mean, having fun with someone, share good news, bad news, you know, like at the end, it's a human adventure, and it's cool to have someone to share it with, right?
Mhm.
So just for that, that's first the good reason, because you could be the best entrepreneur in the world. You could have um, all the money of the world, like even if you have a peaceful and great family life or personal life, still you would like, I think, to have someone to share your professional adventures to you want to share that with someone. So I think just at personal level, it's cool first of all, and for your mental health as well. Even CEOs sometimes they could feel lonely because they have a business partner or associates, but the final charge is on the CEO. And you can talk about your problems, but being the one in charge at the end, the one responsible for everything is different. So even if you can have that little feeling of loneliness, having associates, imagine by yourself and really just by yourself. So I think it's not a good idea. And then you need a team, to go to go further. You have sales that you cannot break through if you're by yourself. Like you could do like 10,000 a month, 100 a month by yourself, depending on if you have a high ticket business or a scalable business. Okay, cool, but you're never gonna break that level. It's impossible. And one of the way to make to have to leverage your business with a lever, like you have, okay, the investment, raise money, but hiring people is a good way to leverage as well, because you can focus on strategy and they could do other things. So you have persons working even when you're not working, right? And you could do that with automations. Cool, but still, automations are not humans. So probably you would need both, especially in the area where we're going to enter. I think we're going to have people managing AIs, or AIs managing peoples, or AI managing AIs plus people, right? So this is possible, but we need all of that and not just one person. I think it's not possible. And as a solopreneur, you have different types of solopreneur. But what is cool with the solopreneurship, I think it's one of the greatest opportunity of our time. But it's more like, okay, you can probably be more free, for sure. It's pretty cool, but you can as well like build something bigger and not have one activity. You could have like small different activities, but if you do so, you cannot do small different activities by yourself. You would need team members at the end to develop yourself and diversify your activities, diversify your investments, diversify whatever you want to diversify. But I think it's cool at the end to diversify. At a business, it's also a way to open your curiosity, still learning new things and so on. And you need persons at a moment to do so. And you can hire very few people with a system of freelancer or partnership and go for the best ones. It's better to have the best freelancer ever than 2, 3 regular employees. And and for the same amount of money, right? You have one top person and you can be in 100% trust and confident about what the person is going to do. I trust you, do your thing, and I can do my other stuff. I can do again automation. I can diversify and blah blah blah, which I just explained. But you have someone you can rely on, and top freelancers, they're reliable more than regular. I don't like that term, but you get it. Sorry, my vocabulary is sometimes limited. So regular employees. So yeah, for that to leverage, scale, diversify, be happy, share, because we're social beings. That's what humans are. You need a team.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. Leverage, I think, is the key. And if you're building the solopreneur business, if on the front end you need marketing, and there's only so much we know about marketing, right? I mean, no matter how good I think I am at marketing, there's so much out there that I just simply don't know. So the leverage comes from other people's knowledge that know
Yep.
about all these different tools. I'm pretty good at sales, but I can only sell so much. So when I have a team, I can actually, let's say every person has a mandate to sell $100,000 a month in business. You're just creating, that's a model, right? So you just bring in new reps, you give them the leads from your marketing team, you hand them to your sales reps. Everyone has a quota of $100,000 a month or whatever your number is. And then someone has to do the work, whatever you're selling, right? Someone has to physically do the work. I mean, you can sell digital products, but they need to be optimized constantly. Or if you're, physically creating a product, you need to be in the manufacturing of it. So that's going to take a lot of time. If you're a service-based business, you have to deliver the service to the client. That takes time. So it's like you can either be a really good marketer, really good salesperson, really good at delivering the work. And then there's all the back office stuff, just making sure you're collecting invoices and payments and taxes and, payroll and all this HR stuff behind the scenes. That takes a certain amount of time. And then the stuff that sits on top of that is strategy. Like, where are we headed? That's the visionary's job of the CEO to make sure that you're clear where you're headed. All of these are separate roles. And the solopreneur says, I'm going to do it all, at least initially, right? But really, you're setting up the framework, kind of, you're saying back to the standard operating procedures. You're setting up the framework so then you can start bringing in experts. And I love the idea of bringing in experts. I do believe that one strong expert is at least worth three novice, untrained, unskilled individuals. So you're better off spending, $1,000 an hour. I'm just making this up, $1,000 an hour for one person. That's an insane amount of money, but it might have taken you three people for that one person. And those three people that are usually not trained, you have to spend a lot of time training them, and then they burn out and they quit. And it's just like this never-ending cycle. Question: what would you say would be the 2 to 3 key employees or partners that you would need to get anything going initially?
Love that one. I've been told that, and I know it's more than true. The best lawyer, the best accountant, and now I know probably like the best salesperson or the best closer, the best hunter, whatever, or the marketer, someone like to help you with your acquisition. And if you have that, then you're cool because your business is safe. Your business is it's financially safe as well, but it's financially safe, right? And then as well, like you have business coming in. So with that, like you can deliver, you can do the vision, you can invest on some other stuff, you can go for more financiers, more experts and everything. But that's the best things to start with. And then 100% sure is to have a coach as soon as you can, a business coach, personal coach, an advisor, a board, or whatever, not to be alone. And even if you have associates, even if you have team members, because you're going to be the same persons on the same boat, right? It's cool to have that because you're the same team on the same boat, like pirates or whatever, like cool. But it's cool to have someone on the side saying, hey guys, I don't know if you know, but you have a hole right there because you didn't see it, but I do see it from where I am. And we need to fix that. And you definitely need to have someone like a coach as soon as possible.
Because you definitely share some knowledge here, and I know we always have some good questions. Before we get there, how do people find you? How do people work with you? What's the best way to communicate with you?
The best way to communicate with me is through LinkedIn. I answer to typically 100% of the message of the inbox message I've received, first of all. And you can find me on my website where you have all the information about my activities, my background, what I'm doing. It's regularly updated. It's GarryYankson.com, GarryYankson.com. And make sure you go on the top right corner and you select the language and you select English because it's going to be basically in French. And then you select English and then you can find me and have access to all the information. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, and most of the time it's hip hop Gary Boo. You just put HIPHLP before in front of Gary and then BOO. That's the other social networks. Back from where I studied as a dancer, that was my dancer name. I kept that because it's a great souvenir. That's just right here on the social networks. And I'd be happy to connect with everybody here. The person listening or watching that podcast later, share insights, challenge my points. That's always great to share with other persons. And if you're in the creative industries, let's work.